Clear Life Combat. My name is Gardy. Right now, it's just after 10 o'clock on a Monday. I have a guest that is zooming in. I got Sammy the Bull here on Clear Life Combat. Sammy, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for having me on again, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you back. So there's been a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that's taken place in a short amount of time. There's some fight news that's coming up. First things first, let's talk about that fight that happened at the Booker T World Gym Arena, Texas Muay Thai and Boxing Promotions. How did it go?
It went well, man. I pulled off the win. Got some stitches. If some of you guys follow us on social media, it was a pretty bloodbath as far as the last like 30 seconds. I got clipped with an up elbow. We exchanged up elbows, but he had the better angle on it, I guess you would say. And one of my spots that had been open before just opened right back up, and it was pretty deep if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw some pictures they were posted on social media. And how is that healing up right now? What does it look like?
Man, it's good. You can kind of see it a little bit there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good. I got two black eyes. It's getting better now.
yeah. So your opponent for that match, is that somebody that you knew before? Is this somebody that you're friends with, or how did that go?
Yeah,
That build up?
uh, so we've known each other for a little bit. We were actually supposed to fight about 8 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, and it kind of fell through or something. Um, and we've actually trained together before. We've obviously in the Muay Thai world, it's small scene, so you kind of like you run into each other all the time. So we got to know each other a little bit. I saw him at weight. I didn't reach out to him before the fights because like some fighters got to be angry when they fight, and they have to be like,
Yeah,
they have to have that. And I didn't want to reach out to him and try to take that from him. You know what I mean? To me, I don't really care. It's just business, you know what I mean? So when I saw him at weigh-ins, he came up to me. I was like, "Hey, man, it was an honor to get in the ring with you." And I was like, "Oh, you too." And I was like, and then I explained, "Hey, I didn't want to reach out to you because I didn't want to I didn't want to take anything from you." And he's like, "No, it's cool." And so like, it was pretty cool. It was cool getting in the ring. It affected me a little bit different than I thought it would because I fought buddies before, but this one maybe I don't know. It just really affected me kind of. And I before the fights, a lot of stuff was kind of going through my head. So it was a little bit of mental game on this one.
yeah. What about? So we talked a little bit about that elbow that you took. Was there any question in your head? Are they going to stop the fight? And then, I mean, your family was there as well. What did your kids think about all that?
So that was a pretty crazy part. It was my wife. She's pretty much my time check, and she, yelled, "Hey, got 30 seconds left." I got cut with that elbow. He pretty much pointed at me like, "Hey, I cut you," and I nodded at him like, "Yeah, you cut me," and I still kept coming forward. And then the ref. I usually, if you get cut, it's in your eyes, and you don't want to touch your eyes and stuff because if you show that it's bothering you, then they're gonna take you to the doctor. So I didn't touch it at all. And then it was just bleeding so much that it wasn't dripping; it was literally pouring out of my face. And so the doctor went over there, and went over to the doctor, and I literally begged the doctor like up and down, like, "Please, sir, please don't stop the fight." I was like, "There's only 30 seconds left." I was like, "My kids are in the crowd. Please, please, please." Like, this is the first time they ever seen me fight.
Yeah.
Um, and it just, he looked at me and looked at my face and was like, "Do you want to fight?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And then he was like, "All right, go fight." If I was a doctor, probably would have stopped it. I didn't realize it was that deep till I actually saw it in the mirror, and I was like, "Crap!" Yeah. So it was almost into my eyelid. It was about a quarter inch away from probably getting plastic surgery and my eye being
Wow.
completely open. So it was crazy.
So then after, how did your family respond seeing all that blood, and were they concerned, or what was their reaction?
It's pretty crazy because my son obviously knows a bunch of people that were on the card, and he's one of our buddies. Ray was on the card. He's screaming in the crowd, "Go Ray, go Ray, kick him in the face!" My son's 3 years old. And my daughter, she's screaming and hollering. And when I came out, people got videos of my kids, and they don't say nothing the whole time, and they were just like, after I got cut, my my daughter was there. She started, sorry, bro. Uh, she started like crying. Cause I'm dead. So, I'm sitting there covered in blood, and I grabbed her, and obviously didn't get a whole lot wiped off, and was like, babe, I'm okay, Um, and I assured her that everything was fine, and my son was like shaking. It's pretty funny because my son's a pretty like he's my little dude, but he's a little butthead, and like he's always like, you know, daddy's tough, hard, and he's like shaking, and he didn't know what to do, and I grabbed my daughter and I walked over to the corner and I lifted her up into the crowd, and then I put my hand in the air, and everyone just started screaming, hollering, and then like she started giggling and laughing from there when she was crying. And then afterwards that night later when we got home, she was like, Daddy, you know what the best part of the fight was? And I was like, what, babe? She was like, when you took me to the corner and jumped up there and then raised me up and raised up your hand and everyone started cheering. I was like, no matter getting the win, the loss, or whatever, like to me, that's something that she'll always remember and something that I'll always remember. So that was pretty awesome. My son finally kind of came to, he was literally almost shaking. And whenever, they were, when they saw my hand raised, they were happy. But at the same time, super concerned. So not saying that you need to get freaking your face smashed open to see how much your kids care for you. But in that instance, like it was really cool to see them caring for me. You know what I mean?
So all the moments in your career, competing Olympic trials, competing all over the world, where does that rank in, I guess, moments that are special to you?
Number one, easy.
Is there anything you think that could top that?
Uh, no, not really. I mean, yeah, for myself would be like, if my kids decide to like, take on that journey themselves, and for me to be there, that I think that could be the really only thing that could like really top that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of your son, what's his name? He said he's 3 years old.
And his name is Malachi.
Malachi. So I saw on an Instagram story the other day on your social media. What is your social media if someone isn't following you yet?
You can look me up at Sammy the Bull on social media. And you can follow my gym too at sammysmuaythai.com, or my website, sammysmuaythai.com, but you can look up Sammy's Muay Thai too as well.
Yeah. Okay. So the kids, I mean, you and your wife, this is what y'all do. It's the life, right? So your son, he's in there training. Can you walk me through a video? What happened? It was kind of funny, and but what happened?
So some of my guys were like, so my son, like he's been literally hitting the pads before he started walking. So my son's been training a lot. He's 3 and he trains with other, like dad's not cool. So like he goes and he trains with my guys. He trains with other guys. He trains with the kids. He loves sparring all the time. I try, and the kids don't beat him up, but he spars kids that are, 5, 6, 7 years old. Doesn't anyone his age. We're hitting pads. And the other day, and I was just messing with him because I pick on him, and he freaking does it, like literally does the same thing to me. It comes up to me, just kicks me for no reason,
Yeah.
And where he's hitting pads, and I went to bump his legs a little bit just to mess with him to kind of knock him down. And he's, if you ever watch any of his videos, he's 100% all in when he's throwing his kick. And this dude went flying, and I was like, oh crap! I was like, oh, and he started crying. He fell. But man, we got 2.5-inch pads on the ground. Like, he's fine. And he literally has jumped off the top of my ring and landed on his face and got up and took off. The only reason why that little dude started crying was because people were like, oh, and then we were watching the video. I was like, dang, that looks bad. And then my guys, don't post that, bro. People are gonna get upset. And I was like, man, that's my son. Screw it. I'm gonna post it myself. Yeah. So I posted. And then some people were like, oh, that's the way you raise your kids, and then other people were like, it's basically child abuse. And I was like, I'll be 100% honest, man. Like, no, you don't need to sit there and beat on your kids. I don't do that all the time. But it just kind of happened. To be honest, it was one of those bad dad cards where it's like, you do something, you're like, yep, that didn't turn out nearly like I meant it to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it happened, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna post it anyways. But if you saw the video, I freaking tend to my son, you know what I mean? Like, it happened, oops, and then you go from there.
Yeah.
Oops, you change people's lives, but at the same time, like, it's my son, and I'll be 100% honest, man. The people that are sitting there complaining about that crap, um, you know what? I don't want my kids getting trophies for everything that they do. Like, you sign up for something, you get a medal. No, you need to learn how to work hard. You need to learn that there are ups and downs in life, and stuff like that. I think help them to understand that. And not saying I'm going to flip my kid upside his head, but I'm saying that, like, something like that happens, he knows he's got to get back up. In a few more minutes, he was up and trained again and playing. And that night, he went up to me, and we're at the house. It's 10 o'clock at night. He goes and gets his gloves and wants to train in the garage. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and other people want to talk crap about that. And it's like, fine, unfriend me. I don't care. Like, that's cool. Like, if I did something wrong, I'm sorry. But if as far as like social media, people want to be warriors around the keyboard, that's fine. I mean, come talk to me face to face. But at the same time, like, I feel like I can only do what I can for my kids and know what's best for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all I know, he's a tough little dude. Like I said, it's not something I do all the time. It was an oops, and then I posted it, and then I kind of got slashed a little bit on social media. But it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I think what made it worse, if I remember correctly, is it in slow motion?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it starts out in slow motion, then shows it in real speed, but it's still, I saw it and I was like, oh man, it's such a good video. And I think it's something that he'll be able to go back and watch forever and be like, yeah, this was me at 3 years old. Even whenever he's like 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever, whatever journey he goes on, that's something that will be special to him and a special moment he'll probably remember forever, especially now that it's on video.
It's funny too, because last night he came up to his sister and he's like, Daddy, let me see the phone. And I was like, I want to show him the video. I was like, what video? He's like, the sweep. So he wanted to show his sister him getting flung in the air. So
yeah,
it hurt his mental that bad.
Yeah. Now he wants to do it again, probably. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the fight, and leading up to that fight in Texas City for Texas Muay Thai and Boxing Promotions. You cross trained at War. Obviously, you trained with your own guys. What was that process like, and what do you think that training with Adam and Jeremy helped you with?
Oh, gotcha, man. So the camp this was a really good camp. A lot of times I have to travel really far for camps. And man, doing this full time now and owning the gym, my biggest thing right now is I've worked hard my whole life, man. And that's all I know how to do. And I, as a dad, as a gym owner, as a fighter, I need to narrow things down. So if I'm not driving, hour somewhere, drive an hour there, you're trying for an hour or two, and then you drive an hour, you're losing the whole day. And I try to tend to my kids as much as I can. War's about 15 minutes from my house. Adam and Jeremy both have taken me in, and I really do appreciate those guys. We've really clicked together really well. I don't step on their toes. They don't step on my toes. It allows me not to be a coach for a few minutes. And they also respect things that I ask or say. I think we put some really good stuff together. Adam's really crisp with, like, obviously pads and movements and getting around and combinations. And Jeremy's more of a brute kind of. He's going to freaking put the pad on, and I'm just going to slam elbows, move around, lots of single hard power shots. And then when I'm training at my gym, lots of very Thai style kicking, lots of elbows, you know what I mean? So I think it was a good mix. My cardio felt good. Everything felt really good for the camp, and other than a couple of the the last week of the camp, pretty much, but everything else was really good.
So when you say the last week of the camp, was there an injury or something come up? What happened?
Bro, and if some people say if you don't not going to a fight camp and you didn't get hurt, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was training. I kind of had a little bit of injuries, obviously, what you normally do for camps, and I was training, and man, I didn't know if it was my shoulder as something happened, and I started losing feeling in my arm. I had to call the promoter and tell him, man, bro, everything was, my world was kind of dropping, bro, because it was like I sold $14,000 worth of tickets. I have to show up, like, you know what I mean? And I'm at home, my kids are there. I got to win this, you know what I mean? And so a lot went to my head. I wound up spending like $400 or $500 just in like 2 days trying to get needled, get this worked on, that worked on. And one of my buddies wound up linking up with me and found out that it was something in my neck, and said that a piece of my spine was like twisted. And I basically was losing feeling in my arm. I was ice bathing, TENS uning, freaking massages every day, whatever I could do to get my feeling back. As soon as I start feeling good, it would start hurting again. I couldn't sleep at night. I don't like to take any type of drugs. I'm very like straight edge when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't like to take anything, even if it's doctor meds. I just don't. And I was tried different pillows, all kinds of stuff, man, head to toe. I was almost in a panic. Like I said, I called the promoter, told him what was going on. I didn't want to broadside him. I didn't want to pull out of the fight. I questioned myself the whole last week of like my last 4 or 5 days. I wasn't even able to train. I pretty much had to get on the bike.
Wow.
And do cardio on an Airdyne bike. And my buddy said that it would take 3-4 days and I would just full rest. Luckily, my diet wasn't my weight was so good that I didn't have to run freaking 10 miles a day to get the weight off. And so I wanted going in, but this is one of the most camps I was the most hurt. Like I literally could not feel my arm 3 days out before the fight.
So did the feeling come back?
With resting and just doing absolutely nothing, and maybe the TENS unit, compression on my neck, all that stuff, I wind up getting it feeling back. And then it would go numb sometimes and then go back just depending how I was holding it. I was in the ring and freaking either Adam or Jeremy were like, "How's your arm?" I was like, "It's good." And I was like, "It goes numb a little bit, but I'm good." You know what I mean? As long as I can throw it, good.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so you were talking about your weight was on point. When it comes to nutrition, how were you able to, I guess, to be on track and keep to a point where you didn't have to kill yourself right before the fight to make weight?
One of my nutritionist friends, D, you can maybe you can post it in a little bit what her social media is, but she was working with me. I've been at this game for a long time, and I literally have cut weight, I've done this, I've done that. So when someone comes in to try to tell you what to do, even though I was paying her, I was kind of still iffy. I'm like, oh, you don't know what it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my wife pretty much had to be like, yo, we're paying this chick. Like, I already told you, if you're fighting, you're going to do this right. And we're going to make sure you do it the most safest and best way.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did. I've had close to 60 fights, bro. And I usually cut between a good weight cut is cutting 8 pounds of water the day before. A bad weight cut is cutting 15. And I've done both. I literally woke up on weight, did not get in the sauna, did not get in the bathtub, didn't do anything. Just woke up, stepped on the scale. I was a pound under. And so bro, that in itself was like the most amazing thing in the world. And for you fighters out there that have to kill yourself cutting weight, you know what that's like. And I felt strong. I freaking took a punch. And, sometimes if you're cutting a lot of weight and you take a punch, like you don't feel good, And then sometimes you're thinking, well, maybe I'm too small. Maybe the guy would feel stronger than me. No, I felt great in there. I could have won a bunch more rounds. Luckily, it wasn't a 5-round fight because that cut would not have made it at all. But if you're wanting to do something like this, it's already dangerous as it is. And so like, you need to take care of yourself, man. And to this, like, man, I am just an utter, like, she was a blessing, like straight blessing. So I highly recommend anyone that's wanting to compete, lose weight, anything of that sort, just nutrition in general, to get with her. You also too can look up on social media. And if you want to even ask me, you're more than welcome to do that. I feel like you should probably have her on. I mean, that could be something that people might want to actually listen to and kind of connect with her a little bit too, because I don't think a lot of people cover that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's the real battle of most fighters, is cutting weight, making sure that you make weight.
Yeah, 100%. I would love to talk about that. I guess for each person, it's probably, depending on what their goals are, it's something different. For you and the goals that you had to fight and be on weight and everything, what did that diet look like?
So the cool thing about when she's doing it, so basically she'll, and it's really cool. You'll go through a list of foods that you like, you don't like. And then you give her your workout times. What time do you get up in the morning? What time do you actually go to work? Mm-hmm. What time do you work out? What time do you get home? And all that stuff. And then it's all mapped out, depending on, it's not just Monday through Friday. It's Monday's this day, Tuesday this day, because your workout schedules, your work schedules could be different. Mm-hmm. So they're all scheduled out. every week. She checks on you every couple of days, depending on what program that you buy. And then when it comes up to wait time, she was getting with me on every little thing, making sure that I needed this, I got that. It was pretty cool. And she doesn't do it full time quite yet. I think that she has everything to do that. And like, I'm going to do everything I can to help her do that full time. And we have a lot of people at our gym that are actually using her now. They're getting ready for fights because they saw what she did for me. And, you know, obviously people want to be healthy, man. At first I was like, man, I don't really want to fork up money to do this because I've been doing it for so long and I don't need someone's help. But bro, I absolutely know nothing about cutting weight. That's all I got to say.
What about your willpower? I mean, when it comes to like eating food, I mean, you're pretty solid on that.
Yes and no. It's hard having kids, little snacks around. When it gets up to fight, you know, you're getting really close to fights. It's like, all right, it's crazy. My wife too. She obviously has about 26 fights. She's been in the game with me for a long time. And whenever I started to cut weight, she jumped on too with me. She lost 20 something pounds freaking with the camp, lost more than I did on the freaking,
Yeah.
And we're actually going to stick with her and keep things going so we be healthy for our family so we can live longer. You know what I mean? Be there for our kids, be able to throw the football outside, be able to go run with them, to play with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so if you're just joining us, talking to Sammy the Bull, and we're talking about all the things that he's been that's been going on up to this point in his career. One thing I wanted to bring up, so you were talking about war earlier, and you were talking about Adam and Jeremy and training there. What about training with some of the other guys? I saw that there was 4 amateurs that competed last night at the Fury Amateur Series 36. Were you able to connect or, I guess, push each other with any of the other guys who train there?
Yeah, so some of the guys will come over to our to my gym a little bit, and then a lot. Obviously, I'm over there with some of the pros too, and some of the amateurs, and get to move around with them. You know, show them a little bit here and theirs. Also, too, they're high level amateurs. So, like when I move around with those guys too, it's not like they're just I'm just showing them things. Like if I touch them with something, I might show them, hey, this or that. They might touch me with something and show me something. So it's been cool to go over there and then kind of have another team as well to get to know the guys, see their faces, and what they put out in the ring. So it's pretty cool to like work with those guys, see them in their adventure and what they're putting together too as well. There's a really strong team over there, and they have really good coaching. So it's just a good place to be at.
One thing I started tracking was people that I have the chance to interview before their fight, what the record is. And so right now, Clear Life Combat's 4-1. So I'm hoping to keep interviewing some more guys and you, so that way we can get that record pumped up, and people will be like, I need to go on Clear Life Combat if I want to get the win, because it's a big part. It's a big part of it. I'm sure. So this past weekend, it seems like your team was pretty busy. What did y'all have going on, and how did everything go?
Man, we went out to Dallas, and there is a tournament style Muay Thai tournament, and we went out there, and man, we train our guys hard at our gym. It's not that you have to fight to be at our gym, but we train our guys, you know. So we went out there and we took a couple of guys from other gyms as well that were, you know, the coaches couldn't come with us, but we wound up taking 13 guys out there, which is crazy. We've only been together for 9 months right now. We took 13 guys out there. Last time we went out there, we went 5-0. And we took 13 guys. We won 10 fights. We got 10 gold, and then we got 3 silver. And then we won the basically the award of the night, pretty much for the most wins and stuff. So, and the biggest team. So it was really cool. The teams that we did lose to were freaking awesome teams that, you know, I've trained with and that I've been around for a long time. So it's just, you know, the ones we lost to obviously were really good teams, but it was cool to go in there. We're not obviously a long team that's been together, but we went in there and I was shocked at some of the guys. Like literally some of the guys that I was like, okay, they're going to get beat up, but they're going to learn something. You know what I mean? They went in there and freaking smashed dudes. But I mean, I guess they're sparring like some of our high level pros and crap and just getting beat up all the time. And they get in there with these amateurs. It's like we had guys that were competing that only been training for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Freaking guys training for a long time, and then you know what I mean. They're all green. They're all like first fights, second fights. You know what I mean? So it was cool. It was really cool.
So some of those guys had only been training for a couple months, and they went in there and competed.
Yeah, and won. It's crazy. I
Yeah.
literally was sitting in the corner. Like, I don't even know what's going on right now. Like I don't know what's going on.
Did you envision this? You know, your gym hasn't been open that long. You've been doing this for years, but your own gym, is this what you envisioned whenever you decided to start this?
You know, if you'd asked me 3 years ago that I would have a house in Spring, that I would own my own gym, that I would be doing this full time, be a pro fighter, and just enjoying life, I would straight tell you no. I never wanted to open my own gym. I wanted nothing to do with that stuff. Um, One day I just freaking got depressed, and it was one of those deals where it was like, I need to change something, and I need to be around what I love. And what I love is Muay Thai, and what I love is my family, and what I love is the people that I'm around. And I've put in the hard work over the years. Why not engulf myself in that? Would I expect the gym to be what it is right now? No. And I hope that we can keep that fire burning, and that these guys can help the next guys and just keep pushing, and I can help them achieve their dreams. Then yeah, but it's really a selfish aspect of training for me. Okay, the better I get these guys, the more training partners I have. The quicker I get them better, the quicker I have more training partners. So I'm in there grinding with the guys as well. And I guess that's just the outcome that's coming out in the ring too. So it's cool. But like I said, I was never expecting this ever, and I'm walking on clouds. I really am. I'm walking on clouds.
So is the sport for everybody? You know, can anybody do this, in your opinion?
Personally, I feel like you can do anything you want. Um, is it if you're athletic, there's two pros and cons. You have a person that's athletic, and it's going to carry them really fast, really quick. But then sometimes if they're not smart, it's going to peter them out. 2, 3, 4 fights in, then they're going to start running across these guys that are smart. They're going to pick them apart. Now you run across the guys that are not athletic, and they are smart, and it takes them longer to get going. But then for the long term, they usually turn out better. But if you got the guys that are athletic and smart, that's where you really run into problems. But I really do feel like anyone can come in and learn. I have freaking dudes that come in that have two left legs. And I've also had like all types of people that come in, and like one of my fighters, Sean, we call him the Muffin Man. He's a big boy. He's a heavyweight, and he fought on the card with me. He didn't want nothing to do with fighting. He fought on the main card with me. He also went out there and helped corner these guys holding pads. He's actually going to be fighting on this next card in March 26th as well. So he's a fun guy to watch. But he's got a good chunk of fights now, opposed to him just wanting to lose weight. He lost like 90-something pounds. I got another guy in the card too as well that's lost almost 100 pounds. So it's cool to help these guys in and outside the gym reach their goals. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But anyone can do it. You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. I've had a guy come in that was a little frustrated, and he, eventually was like, oh, I don't know if I just want to do it anymore. And I'm like, man, I'm not even giving you a sales pitch, bro. If you give up on this, you're going to give up on other things. If you're going to give up on other things, you're going to give up on life. And if you don't want it, you're not going to get it. If you want it, then go get it.
Mm-hmm. So March 26th, is that going to be in Texas City with the Texas Muay Thai and Boxing Promotions again?
It's going to be in Texas City. One of the things too, before the fights, whenever I walked out there, I was standing in the back and I was standing behind the curtains, and my wife told me, I looked at her and I thought to myself, I just looked at her and I was like, babe, why did I do this? And she just looked over at me. She was like, because this is what you do. And then my music came on and I walked out and did what I needed to do.
Wow. I mean, is that something that you think a lot of fighters or even the guys that you're training, you kind of have that check is like, why am I saw Danielle Kelly. She's a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and she just competed on this huge card in New Jersey for Fury Grappling, and she had posted something on social media saying that same thing right before, like, why am I doing this? That question, why am I doing this? Is that something that you've seen multiple fighters kind of ask themselves, especially right before?
Yeah, I mean, like, people like, like I have one buddy that was on the card, and like he messaged me. He was fighting a lot of depression and this and that. And he's like, is this normal? And I was like, yeah, bro, it is. Like your head's mentally messed with, your body's mentally messed with. People don't realize when you're in that ring, your entire family's in that ring with you because you whenever you're in there training, you have to dump everything into that. And sometimes your family gets the second half of it. And you have to remind yourself that I'm still a dad. I'm still a family. I'm still running a company. Um, and it's hard to level that stuff out. And when you don't level it out, you have to know to yourself, the first thing is like, okay, I'm kind of grumpy. I need to chill out. Or like whenever you go to fight, like, bro, there's so much more you could be doing. You could be eating a freaking sandwich or chilling there doing something, not getting your face punched in. The thing about fighting is it is a team sport, right? Because your team's there helping you. But it's you getting your hand raised or not is the highest and the lowest of anything I've ever done. When I got back from the fights, I didn't even go to sleep till the next day because I was so like amped up still. I literally it was like 5 a.m. We got home. I was just sitting there and I was like, man, couldn't sleep. And I just went outside and started playing on my truck. So I didn't even go to sleep till the next day. It's literally the highest in the lows. I mean, you lose and then you feel like what did I just waste my life doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then we get that hand raised. You want to go do it again. You know what I mean?
Yes. Hey, tell me a little bit about your truck. You got a pretty cool truck. I've seen it on your Instagram.
Oh yeah. So that's pretty crazy. I have if you go on my Instagram, I have a 54 Ford Custom Line that I've rebuilt, done a lot of stuff to for the last 4 or 5 years. And then I also have a 1960 Ford F100 that I just got literally like after weigh-ins. I picked it up.
Yeah.
So like it's got a 390 big block in it. It's kind of a dream truck that I've always wanted. A lot of people are like, oh man, you got 2 classic vehicles and this and that. Like, yeah, I do. Some people like to do drugs. Some people like to drink. I like cars. And I like messing with them. My wife's lately been like, yo, can you come in the house? Like when I get home, I go teach, train, we'll go to the house, freaking play with the trucks. And then, yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
I'm a big part.
That's cool. Can you talk a little bit about after a fight? Like you've been training for a fight, it happens afterwards before there's another one that's already booked. And we'll get into that. I think there may be some fight news. What's it like? Is it like a weird place in life? Once you hey, you've been training for however long for this one fight, it happens. Okay, it's over. Now what?
Yeah. And I'm 35. So I am at I either go for it or I don't. I'm at that age. And I've decided that I'm going to go for it. And so I started getting calls from all over. So kind of just get on the next hype. I know that I'm one of those guys that I'm going to hit the ground running. So I have to kind of step myself backwards, and let myself rest, got the feeling back in my neck, let these stitches heal, chill out a little bit. Obviously I'm still in the gym. I made sure that I made myself not hit pads or go run pretty much for a week. And just let my body heal. And normally I hit the ground, start running again, but as I'm getting older, I gotta chill out. Try to make up some of that time that, you might have taken from your family, your friends, and then go back to what you want to do. You know what I mean? I've been really blessed to have my family and friends that are in my surrounding. But going back from that high and then trying to get striving back on it, it's a good feeling. I mean, I didn't really come out of it because I went through fight and then out of fight. And then I got guys fighting the next week. And then, we're about 9 weeks out from their fights. So now I told them, they got another 8 weeks. So they got another 2 weeks and then we're going to start hitting it hard again. And then after that, we got some big news about some stuff coming up too.
So what do you have? Is there a fight that you've accepted, and what is that looking like for the rest of this year, the next couple months for you?
So I'm about 9-10 weeks out. I got hit up by what's it called? Warriors Cup in New York. I've known those guys for a long time. Never fought for them before. But I do like to fight in New York because I've met a lot of people out there, fought out there a lot. I like to think they like to see me fight. A lot of times when I go out there, it's because there's someone that no one wants to fight, which is usually the case, and they know I'll pretty much fight anyone, so whatever. But I am fighting. I just signed a contract fighting April 1st against Chris Missouri. He legit is a monster. I'm super excited about fighting this guy. He's someone I've looked up to for a long time as far as like getting to watch. I like his style. I like everything about him. So like getting in the ring with him is going to be pretty cool. I have a lot of respect for the guy. And I think it's going to be something that people are going to want to see. We tried to get, it's going to be for a title too as well, for the Warrior Cup title. So we're going to go in there and just have a good time. Hopefully not get too bloody with each other, but you know, it'll probably turn out that way. He's a pretty walk forward, pretty kind of guy. And, you know, they call me the bull for a reason too, as well.
So, I mean, is there any, do you like New York as a city? I think you said you like going and fighting out there as well, but is that kind of, your vibe as well? Just the city?
Uh, the city in general, that's cool. I know a lot of people from New York. I'm obviously a Texas boy, head to toe. And whenever I fight out there, I enjoy my time, but I love to come back home. I really do. When we go fights, we like to go sightsee and look at some stuff. We enjoy New York. We enjoy Chicago. But you know, a couple of days in, I'm ready to come back home and enjoy my house. You know what I mean?
How is it different? You know, whenever you fight here in Texas City or in the Houston area versus having to travel, and how much does that affect everything that goes on prepping for a fight?
So I'm actually with this weight cut thing. I'm pretty excited about going there. A lot of times, not necessarily these guys I'm about to fight for, but a lot of times they don't want to pay for extra rooms. They want to fly you out the same day, so they don't have to have a room for the extra days. Sometimes when I'm fighting, I have to get a room myself. It costs me money to go out there and fight because promoters don't want to help you out. Mm-hmm. But like, you fly in at freaking get there at 12, you don't get your room till 2:00, and then you got to weigh in at 4:00, and then I'm cutting freaking 10 pounds of water, and like, it's a whole mess. Like, and you got to get up at like, I get up at 4:00 in the morning. My flight's at 6. I get there. I don't take off till 7, and then freaking you leave there at 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you got to get to your hotel. So it turns into a whole deal. It's like you're running a freaking marathon before you run a marathon. You know what I mean? So it does suck, but I don't know anything different. Like, this is the 3rd time I fought in Texas, and it's been awesome to freaking wake up in my bed, get up, and then go to fight in front of my friends and family. So that's a real big hype for me. But I don't know anything different about fighting out of state and out of country. So it's just going to be another one. I'm just going to be excited about being on weight, just walking around the airport feeling good. You know what I mean? Opposed to like feeling like trash the whole time.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's such a big deal. For Texas Muay Thai and boxing promotions to have that event. It seems like it was very successful. I couldn't make it because I was out of town, and I'm definitely going to try and make it to the next one because it's right here, and I'm like right down the street from the venue as well. But I'm hoping they keep doing more. And I mean, y'all sold $14,000, worth of tickets, which is insane. That's great.
Yeah, the fights were sold out. I told my guys, and I was like, look, if we sell out, that means they're going to have fights right away. And they did. They literally booked an all amateur card right after that. And then after that is going to be another pro card, which I will be on again. Okay. Also, I found out that Peter Stanzik is going to be on that card too as well. So I think there's going to be maybe a few titles on that card. So it's going to be pretty cool. This next amateur card, March 26th, Romel's going to be on that card. And he's, I think, going to be the headliner. One of my buddies, Juan, is fighting another buddy, Grayson, for, I think it might be another title. I'm not too sure. And then we got 6 of our guys that are going to be on that card too. I got one of my guys, Pablo. I got Austin Green that's going to be on it. We got my big boy, the Muffin Man, Sean Williams, is going to be on that card. We also got our kids coach, Astasia, is going to be on that card. And we're just going to go in there. We're really going to have fun. And one of my guys, Don, too, as well, is going to be on the card. So we're going to go out there. You'll see our freaking logo all over the place. So it's going to be cool.
Cool. Is there anything else that you want to talk about that we haven't touched on, or anything you wanted to share?
No, it's pretty much it. I mean, I really appreciate you having me back out, man. We love to keep in contact with you. It's a pretty good, cool podcast. Everyone's really enjoyed the last one, so I figured it'd be really cool to kind of touch base with you. I really do appreciate you helping the scene, because every little thing that we put together, on your part and on our part, man, really helps everything grow. People don't realize that, but it all adds up. We all help each other out. You know what I
Awesome.
mean?
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. So I love talking and I love learning about stuff like this. I mean, I did like learning in school a little bit, but this is a lot, it's more fun to learn about this kind of stuff. So if somebody wants to follow you on social media, wants to follow your gym on social media, what's the best way for them to do that and get in contact with you?
Just look up Sammy the Bull Mongonia. That's gonna be my personal, my fight page. You might see a couple of trucks and some kid photos in there, but yeah, it's my fight page. And then that's on Instagram, and then on Instagram too, you can follow my gym. It's Sammy's Muay Thai, and you can just look that up. It'll pop up, that cool little logo right there.
Yeah.
And then if you have questions, man, freaking, I'm a pretty real person. Like, message me. You know what I mean? If you got questions, or you want to come check out a free class sometime, or really see what it's about, like, the one thing is, if you ever want to train, you want to do something, you always want to just go for it, because you don't want to live the rest of your life thinking, what could I have been, or what, I wish I had did that. And I'll be 100% honest. If I died today or tomorrow, I feel like I've got a lot of my boxes checked. And I feel like that's what you need to live life, man. You really do. Like, it is, you got bills to pay, you got things to do, but I guarantee you, if you drop that video game for a little bit, stop watching a little bit of TV, I guarantee you can get some things done.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again for hanging out. I appreciate you. Make sure you check out Sammy the Bull on social media. And again, Sammy, anytime that you have an opportunity and you want to come on, let me know, and I'll be reaching out to you as well.
Good deal, man. Appreciate you, bro. Be safe.
This is Clear Life Combat. My name